It's common to hear condemnations of egoism. Ego is very bad. Overcome your ego, put away your ego. Let's try to clarify in what sense that is so. What should we mean by the term ego, such that it would be good to reduce it or be rid of it or to overcome it? First of all, let's try to clarify a good connotation of the term. Ego, in its positive sense, could mean a realistic concept concerning myself and how I fit in into the world and or in a given dynamic or situation. So let's say, for example, that some or another parent reads up on how bad ego is and decides that he or she would be superior without ego and says, that's it, I have no ego. And then attempts to raise his or her child or children in this capacity. I'm not your parent. That would be ego. There's not going to be any framework here. There's not going to be any limitations here in our relationship. I don't have any ego. Anything goes. I don't even know who I am. I don't know who you are. I might as well be a tree or a cloud. Right? That obviously wouldn't fly. A parent should be firmly aware that he or she is a parent relative to the child. Right? A teacher should be very well aware. I'm the teacher. I'm the authority figure here. Right? Each and every relationship has its own dynamic that is appropriate to it. And ego, in its good sense, would involve an awareness of that. This is who I am relative to you. I'm your neighbor. Relative to you, I'm your friend. Relative to you, I'm your boss. Relative to you, I'm your subordinate. Relative to you, I'm something else. And so forth and so on. Further, obviously I can't see with my eyes who it is that I am in terms of character, in terms of mental capacities, but I can kind of tease it out over the years. I can try to gain a sense of my inner strengths and weaknesses, of how I act when things get tough, of where I'm at concerning my view of things, right? How I understand the world, how I understand other people, and I can form a concept of myself. The concept is not me, because a concept is not a person. It's not a self-active something such that can will and feel and perceive and be sentient. A concept is an idea, but a good concept is in reference to a reality accurately. So, for example, a good concept of a predatorial animal would keep in mind that it is a predatorial animal. If my concept of a great white shark includes only or at all cuddles and good times, and ear rubs, I can be in for a rude awakening. I need an accurate concept of a great white shark. This is not my friend. If my concept of a pet lion also doesn't include the fact that it is a pet lion and it's a wild animal, no matter how tamed it is, also, unfortunately, I can be in for a surprise. I have to have an accurate concept of who I'm dealing with or of what I'm dealing with. I don't know exactly how my computer works, let's say, but if I have an accurate concept of it, then it's operational. I can at least use my computer and so forth and so on, right? I have a concept of fire. I don't need to know exactly the physics of fire, what's going on, but it's hot and it can burn me. So that's enough not to stick my finger in there or to be able to use it for different purposes, such as cooking, making tea, frying things, and so forth. So concept is not a thing, but a good concept can be sufficiently representational, we could put it that way, of something. So a good concept of oneself is accurate. So in that sense, if that's what we would mean by ego, it is also great and necessary. I'm not nothing. I'm not an absolute. I'm not synonymous with all things. I'm a distinct entity, a distinct individuality. a distinct vantage point. And if I have an accurate concept concerning that, that is essential. That is extremely useful. And certainly we do not want to get rid of it and suppose that we have no individuality. Right? I have no concept of myself. I have no ego. I don't know what I am or where I am, who I am. I don't know my mind. I don't know my personality. That's bogus. Nobody needs that. It's very destructive. So with that said, in what sense then would ego be bad? No doubt. Here we could try to find some other phrases or words to pinpoint exactly what we could mean by ego in its bad sense. And that would seem to be something such as could be called self-absolutization, self-idolatry. By that would be meant taking one's self-concept, should we say, and elevating it to the number one status of all things. Reality starts and ends with this concept of myself. This self-concept is at the very top, the tippy top of the pyramid of that which exists. It is the center around which everything else revolves. Anything that is said by anybody, anything that occurs in the world, any song that I hear, any activity that I get into, it's all around this self-concept, or it all reflects back, should we say, on this self-concept. Whatever anybody says, what did you mean vis-a-vis myself? Are you saying I'm bad or I'm good? Are you saying I'm beautiful or ugly, smart or dumb? That song I heard on the radio, that's just for me. That's just what I was thinking of. That video I saw, that was just for me. The movie, just for me. Any and every interaction is just about me. I'm the only real person, or the only real existent reality that there is. Every other person is just a side character. I'm the main character. This is my drama. This is my show. In that sense, probably everybody would concur. At least in other people. If it's in myself, I know it's great. At least in other people, when I encounter that, I see that's no good. Excuse me. We don't like that one bit. Right? Why? Well, because it's not true. It's nonsense. It's bogus. I recently came about, and soon I won't be here. Hopefully not till 120, but all the same. There's history. There's all the other people. There's a big world. To make everything revolve around my self-concept is ludicrous. And ego in that sense would then be bad. And in that sense, that self-absolutization, that making myself as this self-concept to be the be-all, end-all, that certainly needs to be overcome. And if it's not overcome, it certainly leads to our destruction and our degradation, because it does seem that our development, our growth, is predicated on the possibility of self-overcoming, of getting ourselves off our hands, of not putting that self-concept on a pedestal, of thinking of ourselves as an individual, as a means for the good, as a kind of organ, right, for greater reality than oneself to be expressed by way of which. Just like a bodily organ, right? A heart works with the lungs, works with the arteries, liver, kidneys, everything works together for something good to hopefully come about the body. If any one organ, obviously, just imaginatively speaking, or in an animated film or something, were to say, no, I'm the absolute, I'm number one, right? There's no other organ that's needed, I'm the very central organ, then the body wouldn't work, because all the organs are interdependent. That's the idea, right? If I take myself as that self-concept and say, that's it, I'm the main character, there's nobody and nothing else, I'm the most important, everybody must bow at my feet, all values come from me, right, and end at me, then I'm screwing myself. I will never amount to anything as an individual, and I need to then overcome that and persist in my development until that phase is in the past. With that said, no matter how little self-absolutization I may have, which is the goal, right? To be really humble and genuinely, not in an artificial way. no matter how genuinely humble I am, I certainly still need an accurate self-concept, and I still need an accurate understanding of how I relate to and ought to relate to other people and how they ought to relate to me, of my role in life, of my station and its duties, to so put it. Certainly. So ego in that second sense is great, and we always need it. Ego in the first sense of that self-absolutization, no good. And we should try to recognize it and move past it to our capacities. So we can consider it. Thank you for listening.